In the previous video, we talked about what history is, and that the word is derived from a Greek word which is historia, that means studying the events of the past and the reason of their occurrence. And that why history is important for us, because it tells us about the places and objects that are around us, and it also allows us to see the lives of the people who lived in the past. And that study of past can be divided into two branches, that is archaeology and history. Let's move on to our next topic, which is monuments. So I used the term monuments in the previous video. Now, in order to understand what this is, we will go back to the ancient times when humans lived in caves, which were formed by the nature, right? They were naturally built. But as the time passed, human learned to make houses for himself, houses that were stronger and bigger. Now, if we move a little ahead to the Mughal period, which is one of the golden periods of history, you will find amazingly built buildings and houses, such as the Red Fort, which was the official residence of Mughals, and Jama Masjid, Old Fort, and Taj Mahal, and many more. We have already seen their pictures in the previous video. Now, such houses of historical importance are called monuments. Houses, those buildings and houses that have significant importance in history, they are called monuments. I hope you got it. Now let's have a look at some of the greatest monuments of India. Number 1 is Taj Mahal, the epitome of beauty. This is the most attracted tourist place in India. It was formed by the orders of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, who dedicated this mahal to his wife Mumtaz Mahal. It took over 20 years for this amazing structure to be built, to be completed. It was started in 1632 and completed in 1648, while its surrounding areas were completed by 1652. So it took over 20 years for its completion completely. The main architect behind this monument was Ustad Ahmad Lahori. Ustad Ahmad Lahori was the main architect of Taj Mahal. While at least 20,000 people were engaged in its construction. How many people? 20,000 people. That's a lot of people, such as masons, stone cutters, carvers, painters, calligraphers, and other artists or artisans who were hired from the whole Mughal Empire and also from outer areas such as Central Asia and Iran, etc. Our next monument is the Red Fort. Red Fort was also built by Shah Jahan in the 17th century. An interesting fact about this monument is that it was started and completed on the same day of the same month, which is 16th April. Started building on 16th April 1639 and was completed on the same day, that is 16th April 1648. The years were different, so it took 9 years to be completed. 9 years for its completion. The last emperor who lived there and occupied Red Fort, it was Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last of the Mughal emperors. Then he was defeated by Britishers, and now after independence, the flag of our country is hoisted by the Prime Minister of India on Independence Day and Republic Day. Our next monument is the Victoria Memorial. This amazingly formed structure was built by George Curzon, who was the Viceroy of India at that time. The construction of Victoria Memorial began in 1906 and it was completed in 1921. This huge building is made up of white Makrana marble, which was brought from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. This marble was brought from Jodhpur, which is in Rajasthan, to Kolkata, which is in West Bengal. So George Curzon dedicated this memorial to Queen Victoria. It was open for the public. Now the style of its construction is a mix up of British architecture, Egyptian architecture, Mughal and other Islamic styles. So it's a blend of various architectural styles that makes it stand out, and that is why it is included in one of the greatest monuments of India. Now, built in the early 13th century by Qutbuddin Aibak, Qutub Minar is a red sandstone tower located in Mehrauli area of Delhi. The height of this tower is 72.5 meters. That means it is standing 72.5 meter tall. After Qutbuddin Aibak, the construction of Qutub Minar was completed by his son Iltutmish. Now the surrounding archaeological areas or buildings or monuments are Alai Minar and Alai Darwaza, and two mosques. One of them is Quwwatul Islam Masjid. This is the Quwwatul Islam Masjid, the Qutub Minar, and this is the Alai Minar. Ajanta Caves is also one of the marvelous monumental structures found in India. These are formed by cutting and carving the rocks. They are rock cut caves. These caves are found in Aurangabad in the state of Maharashtra. The total number of caves are 29. Now, if we talk about their formation, so they were formed between 2nd century BC and 6th century AD. BC is before Christ and AD is after the death of Christ. These caves represent Buddhist, Jain and Hindu monumental structures. They are also one of the most attracted tourist monumental place. There are so many other historical buildings and monuments such as the Jama Masjid, Old Fort, Humayun Tomb, if we talk about Delhi, and the Golden Temple of Amritsar, Char Minar, Gateway of India, Ellora Caves, etc. Most of them are included in UNESCO heritage sites, the heritage sites identified by UNESCO. This concludes the second part of this chapter. We discussed about monuments. Monuments are buildings and houses that have historical importance and that are of utmost significance for the archaeologists and historians. We discussed about some of the greatest monuments such as Taj Mahal, Red Fort, Qutub Minar, the Victoria Memorial and Ajanta Caves, etc. And some more are Jama Masjid, the Golden Temple, Gateway of India, and Charminar, etc. Now your assignment, these are the blanks. You have to copy them in your notebook. And this question, what are monuments? And write a short note on a monument of your choice. Take any monument which should be a part of India, and you have to write about 5 to 6 lines on that. Thank you.